What's going on YouTube? Scrubquad Pro here with you guys today to bring you a recap of the 2012 Royal Rumble, WWE's first pay-per-view of the year, and we are now officially on the road to WrestleMania. So I thought this card was pretty good. There were a few matches added the day of the pay-per-view. That always happens. It's nothing big, but going in, I thought the card looked well, and it didn't disappoint me. Now, I did think it was kind of weird that they started the show off with the World Heavyweight Championship match, the steel cage match between Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, and the Big Show. But instead of putting a filler match in that was decided the day of the pay-per-view. But it was a good way to start the pay-per-view off. Daniel Bryan got the win, climbing out of the steel cage. That one is pretty obvious. I mean, I didn't think Big Show or Mark Henry would be climbing up and over the cage. So unless they won by pin or got out the cage door, you knew Daniel Bryan was going to win. And he did, retaining his title. So now he will defend it at Elimination Chamber, in most likely an Elimination Chamber match. Next, we had arguably one of WWE's biggest storylines without involving a championship. That's between Kane and John Cena. Now, the original match itself was a no contest, but what happened post-match was the real good part. They were started fighting up the ramp, backstage. They both were getting a little bit of offense until Kane had Cena down, and then he pretty much kicked in the door to Ryder's dressing room, picked up Ryder, or took him out into the ring, hit him with a tombstone, and John Cena came into the ring and he hit him with a chokeslam for his efforts at trying to stop him. So Kane pretty much destroyed the two men and left them in the ring with the fire going off. And so Kane was destructive at this Royal Rumble. And I like how that worked out. Normally I don't really like it when there are matches that ended no contest, but in situations like this where there's post-match stuff, I enjoy that. So I like the way that ended, and it opens the feud up a little bit more going into Elimination Chamber, which is probably where it'll end, because obviously John Cena will be facing The Rock at WrestleMania 28. Now, one of the filler matches that was made the day of is Brodus Clay versus Drew McIntyre. Now, the match itself, it wasn't anything special. I mean, it was good for both men, but, it wasn't like a nice, long, 30-minute amazing match. But it was good for both these men to get some pay-per-view time. Brodus Clay picking up the win. Drew McIntyre was pretty much just doing a job for Brodus. But hopefully, maybe before WrestleMania or after WrestleMania, Brodus Clay will lose this dancing thing. I don't know what that's about. I want to see Brodus Clay as a monster and not a dancer. But that'll be up to the WWE creative team, not up to me. So next we had the WWE Championship match. John Laurinaitis came out and said that he would be reffing this from the outside. So he went from being the special guest referee to pretty much the special guest enforcer, the ring enforcer. He did play a little bit of a role in this match. Dolph Ziggler pushed CM Punk into the ref, and the ref rolled out. And Laurinaitis went to check on him, like a nice human being. And CM Punk had Dolph Ziggler tapping. He rolled Dolph Ziggler up. And Laurinaitis couldn't see any of it because he was checking on the ring. And before the match, he actually ejected Vicky Guerrero, which I liked, because I don't like when Dolph Ziggler is with Vicky Guerrero, because I feel like the heat is on her instead of it being on him, because he is the real heel. But in the end, CM Punk was able to get the win. He hit Dolph Ziggler with a GTS, and he actually got a 3 count from the original ref, and Laurinaitis came in to give a 3 count as well, so we kind of got a double 3 count. I don't know what they're doing with that. Maybe they'll add a little bit of something into it on Monday Night Raw or leading up to Elimination Chamber. I guess we can just wait and see on that one. It's been said that this will be like the Stone Cold Vince McMahon feud in the Attitude Era. Obviously it'll be a little bit different, but it'll probably be similar into, at one point, CM Punk will probably attack John Laurinaitis. But, we'll just have to wait and see. Only time will tell. And that was that. So CM Punk was able to retain. And the final match was the Royal Rumble match. Now, there were some notable competitors and some non-notable. I'm not going to break down the whole match because that would take hours and hours, and you probably just don't want to hear me that long. So the notable competitors, you pretty much had the whole announce table in the ring. Not at the same time, but they pretty much were all in the ring at one point. You had Jerry Lawler, Booker T, and Michael Cole. The only one missing was Josh Matthews. He didn't get that privilege. I kind of felt it was pointless to have all of them in there. Now I get Booker T because he was just recently wrestling. I could sort of see Jerry Lawler because he at this point last year he was wrestling, and Michael Cole that was just a waste. There's other people that you could have put in that match. You could have put someone like Tyler Rex maybe, or like one of the people that they're saying that they're bringing up from FCW. You could bring someone like that, just put him in the Royal Rumble match instead of Michael Cole. But they went with Michael Cole, and he literally did nothing. Other notables, Karma, she returned. She was the third woman to ever compete in a Royal Rumble match. I don't know if she really counts as a woman. She's definitely a woman, but I don't know if she really counts as a diva. She's more of a woman wrestler. You had the first ever winner of the Royal Rumble, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Great Khali made his return, eliminating his stepbrother, Jinder Mahal. And you had the return of the Road Dogg, Jesse James. So they all returned. I mean, obviously Mick Foley was in the match. We knew that going into it. But some notable non-competitors, Mark Henry wasn't in it after the clause where you could compete in a match and then compete in the Royal Rumble match. Mark Henry wasn't in the match. Kane wasn't in the match. And the biggest notable non-competitor was John Cena. I guess you could sort of play it off as in he was hurt from Kane's actions, but it's still, I feel like it's a pretty big deal that he wasn't in the Royal Rumble match. I mean, he pretty much is their biggest superstar. So maybe they could be going a different direction, and possibly John Cena may not be the guy come this time next year. I don't know, or maybe they were, just playing off a storyline. So let's fast forward to the final four in the Royal Rumble. You have Big Show, Chris Jericho, Sheamus, and the hometown hero Randy Orton. Randy Orton was able to eliminate Big Show to then be immediately eliminated by Chris Jericho. So the final two were Sheamus and Chris Jericho. Now going into the match, the pay-per-view, I predicted Chris Jericho to win. So when these two were in it, I was ready for Chris Jericho to win. But that's not what happened. He was outside the ring on the ropes, and Sheamus hit him with a bro kick, and he fell off. And Sheamus not only picked up the win, but he punched his ticket to WrestleMania 2 main event in a championship match. Now I like that. One, because I am part Irish, and it's good to see an Irish person doing well. And two, after Sheamus had won his championships and all that, he was sort of like de-pushed, I guess you could say, or he wasn't on TV, and now he's back. And I think with him winning this Royal Rumble, he's now won a Royal Rumble, a WWE Championship, a King of the Ring. So I think it shows that WWE has some confidence in him, that they want him to be in a championship match at WrestleMania. Now whether he'll go for the WWE Championship, which is currently held by CM Punk, or the World Heavyweight, which is currently held by Daniel Bryan. Now personally, I think it would be better if he won for the World Heavyweight. One, it's on SmackDown, and two, to have him go against Daniel Bryan, set that feud up. Two guys who aren't the biggest names in wrestling going at it for the championship, which is WWE making their own talent, which is always good. But so Sheamus was able to win the Royal Rumble, and that was a show. So I felt like it was a pretty good show. I'd love to hear your guys' comments or how you thought about the show, how the results of the match, the Royal Rumble match, and any other matches. And for that, I'm Scrubquad Pro. Catch you guys later.